Hello all, my name's Andrew, welcome to the Blitz Gaming channel. It's been a long time since I made a video, I hope everyone's okay. And right, today's video, something different, AMD's 24G processor. Yes, they have added a 34G, they've now added a 4000 series, and now added a 5000 series, but a 4000 and 5000 series are only available through OEMs. That's big system builders like Dell, HP. 5000 series is going to come to the retail chain. Not quite sure when, a bit like June, July, August maybe, with luck. But AMD have said it will come to the retail chain. And I would expect it to be a good 5 frames to 10 frames or even more faster than the 24G. I shall put the screws up now of the 24G and the 5000 series coming out in the very near future. Okay, so this is the 24G. Now I know it says Pro up there, but the Pro and the standard version are more or less the same processor, so don't worry about it too much. So you see you've got 4 cores and 11 GPU units, so it's no slow machine. Now the 24G goes faster than the NVIDIA's 1030 graphic card, so I've just to let you know, yeah, that's a fact. Right, let's look at its bigger brother, the 5000 series. So I think the 53G will be roughly about £120, maybe less, maybe £100. And the 57G, it's got to be around the £400 mark, because I think the 8-core Ryzen is basically £400, so I can't see any difference between the two. But these are definitely going to be probably easy to get hold of when they turn up. I've not actually seen 24G and 34G in a retail chain for a while, but I'm not saying you can't get hold of them in places. But obviously, these are going to be new and they're going to start being manufactured, so they should all be easier to get hold of at the end of the day. Right, let's move on. Okay, you've seen the SKUs and the 24G. You can see they're different. One's based on Zen 3 and one's based on Zen 1 Plus. So there's a big difference in architecture. So CPU wise, there's going to be a massive difference that side wise. Graphic core wise, it's still Vega, but if you look at the clock speeds, 24G is 1250 megahertz. And basically the bottom of the range one on the 5000 series is now 1700 megahertz. So it's a 500 megahertz difference. And the top end one is 2000. So there's a big difference in clock speed. So we do expect there to be a speed boost on the graphics side. So okay, well let's get to the build. So this is going to be a budget build, 24G. If you can get your hands on one, you can do well. I can't see it being no more than £100 if you can get your hands on one, even as a brand new one. I think the 34G is still listed and that has gone up. I think I've paid, I first think they were originally around 115 and now they're about 150. So they have gone up with demand, as everything is, and with this massive pandemic, all computer stuff's gone through the roof, especially the graphic cards. So if you can keep away from graphic cards at this moment in time, I certainly would until at least next year, because I do not see any graphic cards coming down this year to a normal price. Budget build. Most important things you need to do on a budget build for gaming. One is, when you buy a power supply, do not buy a cheap power supply. Yeah, you need to buy a power supply from a branded one, from, say like Cooler Master, Seasonic, Antec, Corsair. There's other brands out there as well, but as long as you go to a proper place, like Newegg, Scan UK, CCL, eBuyer, you'll be fine buying a power supply. But you need to get one basically around 750 to 850 watts. Now you'll be saying, why do I need to do that? Well, when you update your PC, yeah, graphic cards are greedy. So you want the performance there from day one. Now power supplies last, a good branding one will last you 10 years, and it comes between a 4-year and a 5-year warranty. So you'll be fine at the end of the day. But it's no point buying a cheap power supply now and buying a dear one when you go out and buy your graphic card or update your processor. You might as well buy that from day one. Yeah, it's going to cost you roughly £80. Now I'm not asking you to go out and buy a fully modular one, which is going to cost you between 150 to 200 quid. Yeah, get one with all the wires already set at the end of the day, ready to go. Now the other thing is that when you buy your case, make sure you get a case with a decent amount of airflow. So you want a grill on the front, ideally a couple of fans, yeah, and an exhaust fan coming through the system, keeping all those components nice and cool. And as a bonus, if you can, you want a case which is basically around 600 mil high, 60 centimeters high, where basically you can get an all-in-one cooler, basically about 2 inches in thickness, above your motherboard, exhausting your air at the top of your case. So you need a grill at the top of the case, blowing it out. Now they cost basically probably an extra 5-10 quid extra. There are some on scan at the moment. I've seen them around £50. Now if you don't want to play games, you just want to surf the net, do online banking, now you're probably better off with a laptop. But if you want a big screen, at the end of the day, power supply wise, just buy one, 450 watts, 550 watts. Cost you, again, you still want a branded one, don't buy cheap nasty. The reason being, because cheap nasty power supplies catch fire. If you don't believe me, search YouTube. You'll certainly find one on there which catches fire. So yeah, 450, 550 watt, basically about 35 quid. And case wise, again, you still probably want a good airflow case at the end of the day, but you can get a case basically £35 at the end of the day, available for you non-gamers. But cases do go up to a good 400 quid, so I'm not asking you to buy a £400 case. But a good gaming case, I would say, is a good price between 140, 150 quid. Yeah, but obviously we're on a budget. We're doing a budget build. So 50 quid case, 80 quid power supply at the end of the day. Motherboard, 65, 80 quid at the end of the day. Memory, 16 gig, probably about £100, maybe less. Not checked actually today's prices. Hard drive, you can easily get one for 50 quid. That'd be a 1 terabyte, even 2 terabyte for that sort of price. Not really looked them up. That'd be a mechanical drive at the end of the day. Ideally, you would want SATA as a boot drive, so really quick, fast turn on. And you'd want a SATA, SSD for boot up and SSD for gaming. But SSD drives don't come cheap. So mechanical hard drive is the way to go. Cheap is best. At the end of the day, when you're doing a budget, mechanical hard drives is the way to go. Okay, let's move on. So 24G, 16 gig of DDR4 memory, dual channel. Now remember, that's dual channel, so you want 2 sticks of 8 gigs, not 1 stick of 16 gig. Yes, one stick is cheaper than 2 sticks, but you better off paying an extra £5, £10 because the performance difference in dual channel to single channel is huge. Now the motherboard wise is a Gigabyte Aorus 450 chipset. Now obviously the 5000 series may not be backward compatible with the 450 chipset. It may be, we don't know until it turns up in the retail chain. But it certainly fit on the 5500 series chipset, which we do have, so we can always test one out in the very near future. So you've seen the SKUs, and this is going to be the build. We'll show you the build now, and then we go on to the benchmarks. The benchmarks are going to be on Total War, Rome 2, Warhammer and Troy. They're going to be 720p, 1080p. So it's going to be 720p, medium, maybe high settings, 1080p, low settings. Now I personally prefer 1080p because then you got a nice sharper image all around. Less content on the screen, but it doesn't upset gameplay. So don't worry about it too much. Okay, and when we've done that, at the end of it, we will show you a 5900X Ryzen with an NVIDIA 3080 graphic card running at 1440p, just to show you a comparison. And yes, the graphics will be superior, but at the end of the day, it's about playing the game, and at the end of the day, and you don't have to spend the money, because you've got to remember, one system is going to be £500, the other one's going to be £3,000. There's a massive difference between spending money. I mean, it could be even more than that if you decide to go out and buy a 38. If you get your hands on one, I mean, they're on places see prices £2,000 on their own. I mean, it's ludicrous. So basically, keep away from the graphic cards when they're only supposed to be retailed at the end of the day around 600, 700 quid. So don't go buying one if you can buy one, if you can. Okay, let's go with the build, and then we'll have a quick talk afterwards. Okay, you can see here that we've got a full grille on the front. As I said, you want to get some airflow going into the case. Keep the case cool as possible. Here you can see it from the side. Got a window. You don't need to buy a window case. It's a MIDI tower. Window cases cost more money, but it's there if you want to see all the glows inside. If you want to have RGB fans in light strips. But ideally, you want a grill at the top as well to get rid of the heat. It's not going to be bad in this scenario because we've only got a low-end processor. Here you can see the basic build inside, nothing special. Okay, I've got 6 drives. You won't get with a normal PC. Basically, you get when you get a 24G, you ain't got to buy a fan, or can cost you between £25 to £100. It comes with a fan as standard fit, because it's a lower end processor. You can also see I've got a sound card there. You don't need to buy on a basic build. You also want a case where you can have plenty of room to hide the cables. Got plenty of room in this case. Can't complain at all. Okay, I have got a yellow cable there, make it a bit miserable looking, but that's just life. Now let's get on with the benchmarking.
Varus! Oh! Quintilus Varus! Give me back my legions! You are walking into a trap, Varus! The German will betray you. He will betray Rome.
Arminius, a traitor? I think not. Rome have raised me, trained me, but my loyalty is to my people!
Varus. Oh! Quintilus Varus, give me back my legions! You are walking into a trap, Varus. The German will betray you. He will betray Rome.
Arminius, a traitor? I think not. Rome may have raised me, trained me, but my loyalty is to my people!
back. So you've seen the build, you've seen the benchmarks, and in day, you've seen the difference in the low end, high end, at the end of the day. And the low end system plays the games fine. At the end of the day, I made sure all the settings we use were over 30 frames a second. Yeah, because that's what the minimum you want to do at any possible time. Yeah. So the game's playable. All the games were playable. They're all demanding. The Warhammer, well, the Total War series games, most places you go for benchmarking use it as a benchmark suite. So we've used it today going through. I will be doing new videos on first person shooters. So it'll be like literally Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, CSGO, and Fortnite, and some others. And we do some other RTS games as well. Quite a few. And I'll be doing games which you don't ever see benchmarks. People like things like Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo. What people like playing at the end of the day, it's a different style of game. But again, you still need a pretty good machine to play them at the end of the day. And we're going to show them on the 24G. Show you that you can actually play the campaigns through those games. So I hope you enjoyed the video. At the end of the day, please subscribe. It don't cost you any money to subscribe, so press that button now. Yeah, always helps in the long run for me. And I will see you in the next video very soon. Hope you all have a great day. That's me out. Laters all.